Hey, what's up guys? It's Austin and welcome back to PCG Productions. Today we're going to be starting a new series, Best Class Setups in Modern Warfare. Today we're going to be doing the AUG, where we go over detailed statistics on the AUG and how attachments affect those. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving you guys 3 class setups for the AUG for different play styles and different maps. And if you guys want this series to continue, just let us know in the comment section down below, and we'll be sure to get out more episodes of this. And jumping right into it, the base damage to the limbs for the AUG is 30, 22, 18, and 16. However, like every SMG in Modern Warfare, there is a torso damage multiplier, which is about 1.13 times the base damage to the limbs, which that's going to make the damage profile 34, 25, 20, and 18, which is going to make it a 3 to 6 shot kill. But this gun really excels with its headshot multiplier of 1.83 times, and it's going to up the damage to 55, 40, 33, and 29, which makes it a 2 to 4 shot kill, meaning since it helps at every range, you should always be going for headshots with the AUG, and it's very useful. It's really going to help your time to kill. But the rate of fire on this weapon is about average for the SMG class. It's like right in the middle. It's 769 rounds per minute. And the time to kill up close for this weapon is the fastest for all full auto weapons in the game. So this gun excels at close range, but then you're going to run into those overpowered shotguns in Modern Warfare. But if you're going to use a sub for rushing, this is not a bad one to use, but you're going to see why it might be hampered in other areas. But still a great weapon up close. Then moving on to range, it has a standard max damage range of 12.5 meters for the subclass, meaning you can get a 3-shot kill to the torso or a 2-shot kill to the head, 12.5 meters away. Then the 4-shot kill range is about 20 meters. 5-shot kill range goes to about 30 meters, and then after that is the 6-shot kill. So you're not really going to be wanting to use the weapon past 30 meters for sure. And then obviously there's attachments that increase or decrease the range of the weapon, but we're going to get into that a little bit later in the video. And then also it has standard hipfire for the SMG class. It matches up with like all the other subs, so nothing special here, but still very good for hipfire. When it comes to idle sway, you can see that it has a good amount of it, so it's going to make your first shot accuracy at range a little difficult to hit, but if you're using it as an SMG, you shouldn't really have to worry about that. Then when it comes to recoil, you can see it isn't bad at all. It's pretty much just vertical recoil. There's a little bit side-to-side action, but it's mainly vertical, so it's very easily controllable, and it's not something you're going to have to worry about too much. So you're not going to need to use too many attachments for the recoil. Moving on to aim down sight speed, which is 250 milliseconds. This is by far the slowest in the SMG category. However, this isn't slow for the game because this would match the fastest aim down sight speed for an assault rifle. So while it's slow for the SMGs, it's by no means slow and still is very good. But one area where it does struggle is magazine size at 25 rounds per mag with only 50 in reserve, which isn't great. So as you're going to see later on in the video, I'm probably going to be recommending some form of extended mag. And yet another area it struggles, I know, it's going downhill right here for the AUG stats, but don't worry, it's still a solid weapon. But the reload add time, this means like when your clip isn't completely empty, like you still have at least one bullet in the clip, which I think most of us always do because I know I have reloaditis where if I shoot one bullet out the clip, I have to reload it. Definitely not a good move for playing Call of Duty, so I don't recommend it. I'm still trying to fix that. But the reload add time is 1.57 seconds, which isn't very good. But with sleight of hand, it's 1.02 seconds, so that's another thing that is pretty useful on this weapon that might show up in a couple of the classes. Then for movement speed, it's 97% movement speed with the weapon out, meaning that if you just had out your fist or a combat knife, you'd have 100% movement speed. With this sub, it's 97% of that, which is still really fast, but for the subs, it's actually slow. So take what you will of that. Still, you're going to be moving super fast, so I don't see it as an issue on this weapon. But then the ADS strafe speed is only 50%, which that's standard speed for assault rifles, not subs. So basically, this submachine gun is sort of, in a way, a hybrid between an assault rifle and an SMG. But enough about the base statistics on the AUG. Let's get into some of the attachments that I deem is the most useful or most interesting, things with the biggest adjustments that will affect your gameplay with the weapon. So I'm going to start off with talking about the barrel attachments on the AUG. The 407mm extended barrel will give you a 30% increase to damage range, which is very useful because as long as you can get that 3-shot kill, it's going to have an extremely fast time to kill. And then it also slightly reduces recoil, which you know how the recoil was mainly vertical, but it had that slight sway back and forth from side to side. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to get rid of that slight sway from right and left, and it's going to make it even easier to shoot accurately. So that's actually very useful. And then it also does a 20% reduction in aim down sight speed, which would make this more like an AR style class setup if you went with this attachment. But then the 407mm lightweight gives you a 20% increase to damage range, but it only nerfs your ADS by 7%. And it still gives you that slightly reduced recoil. But the last barrel attachment I'm going to be talking about is the 622mm long barrel, which gives you a 45% increase to damage range, so by far the biggest buff to range, which is very useful. But it's still going to give you that ADS speed 20% nerf, and it also gives you a 4% nerf to movement speed, which is going to make you feel significantly slower. And then it also gives you the slight improved recoil control. Now for the last couple attachments I'm going to go in depth about is just going to be the 2 extended mags where they use 5.56 NATO ammo, because these actually make huge differences because it completely shifts the base damage and multipliers on the weapon. So the new base damage with these 2 attachments gives you 39, 28, and 23, meaning it's a 3 to 5 shot kill. So that gives you a little bit of an improvement over the base ammo type of normal SMGs. And then the headshot multiplier, however, really gets hurt. It's only 1.27 times, meaning it's 50, 36, 29. Still a 2 to 4 shot kill, so it doesn't really do too much of a difference. It just makes it so headshots aren't useful at every range. So if you're using this ammo type, you don't need to go for headshots at mid to long range, only up close. However, the 5.56 ammo does nerf your rate of fire to 682 rounds per minute, making the time to kill slower than the normal ammo that the AUG carries. And this isn't great, but where this ammo type excels is in the 4-shot kill range, because it ups that to 40 meters. So if you're using this type of ammo, you're really going to want to be sticking to the mid-range levels, because up close and super far, it does get hurt. So if you're in that 12.5 to 40 meter range, that's where this ammo type will actually help you out. But the only problem with this is it isn't competitive with the actual ARs in Modern Warfare, and the recoil also gets much worse using this ammo type. It's still pretty much vertical recoil, so you can't control it, but you'd want to have more foregrips and stuff like that on there to combat it. And it's still very controllable, but this ammo type, as you're going to see on my class setups, isn't really the way I like to go with the weapon. And the second 5.56 ammo is a 60 round mag, so that's actually really nice. But the only problem, this one also nerfs your ADS speed by 20%, and it gives you a 6% movement nerf, which is really significant because you're going to be moving around like you have an LMG now. So honestly, I would probably stay away from this attachment, except for on Shipment sometimes, because having the really large mag does help. But now for the part of the video you guys might have been waiting for, the actual class setup. So I'm going to have 3 of them for you, and then I'm going to end off the video with my opinion on the weapon as a whole. But first off, we're going to go with the all-around AUG setup that can work for rushing or playing it more strategically, because let's face it, it's really hard to rush in this game. But this would be the class, if you want to rush, you would use. So first off, you're going to start off with the 407mm lightweight, because it increases the range while not hurting your ADS speed too much, which is already one of its weaker points in the subcategory. And then you're going to go with the 32 round magazine, because this still has the normal sub ammo, and this is where the time to kill on the weapon really shines. So you're going to want to keep that ammo. And then you're going to use sleight of hand, because Obviously, if you're rushing around, you're going to need to be able to reload faster, and the reload time is also one of its weaknesses, so I'm just trying to buff that up and make it not too bad. Then you're going to go with the stippled pistol grip because it helps the ADS speed, which compensates for using the barrel. And then finally, we're going to use the commando foregrip because it makes the recoil insanely easy to control, so your aim with this is going to be money. Now moving on to the rest of the class setup, I left the RPG on as the secondary just because it's really good at getting campers out of their little hiding holes, you know. So I just find it easy, you know, if someone's camping in a room, I can just shoot an RPG through the window or through the doorway. But it's really up to you. You can use a pistol if you'd rather do that. But for the rest of the class, this is pretty much set in stone for what I like to use. So first off, we got to use EOD because people have claymores everywhere, and I'm not the only person who likes to use an RPG. So having EOD is really helpful. And then hardline, because you're rushing around, makes it a little bit easier to get your kill streaks going. And then tune up just because it recharges my ammo box faster, because that's also what I use for this class setup, even though you can't see it on the screen. And then for the lethal, I got a frag grenade. In case I'm out of RPGs, we can still use that to get campers out of their little rooms. And then stem because we're rushing around, and if we're taking damage, is a good way to heal up quickly. Now we're going to give it the stealth setup. So this is going to be definitely your slower paced class setup if you want to be careful and strategical. Definitely not camping, that's not what I'm saying, because I don't recommend camping ever, okay? We're talking about tactical COD. But, alright, you're going to start off with the monolithic suppressor, which I didn't actually go over specifically in the video, but it does increase your damage range by 7.5%, and you got a silenced weapon, so pretty good right there. We're going to keep the commando foregrip for the same reason as last time, makes it really accurate. Then we're going to go to the stippled grip tape again because also helps ADS time. That's something good to have on all SMGs. Sleight of hand again as well because we got to fix that reload time. And then we're going to use the FTAC Ultralight Hollow attachment, and this is to combat the slow strafing speed because in this class setup we're using it slightly more like an AR than a sub. Still a sub at heart, but that strafe speed is very slow for the sub category, so that's why we're improving that there. It fixes one of the weaknesses. Now moving on to the rest of the class setup, we got the RPG as the secondary still because, you know, we got to blow up them campers. And then we got the perks because it's the stealth class is cold-blooded and ghost. Ghost keeps you off the UAV. Cold-blooded makes it so AI kill streaks and thermal scopes can't see you. Tune-up is again for the ammo box, so you don't run out of ammo. You can get an extra rocket for your RPG, more ammo for your AUG. And then we got the claymore because why not? And then tactical can be the stem grenade. This one really doesn't matter that much. You can use the stem. I wouldn't use the decoy or gas grenade because decoy is useless. Gas grenade is just annoying. And then you can use a smoke, a stun, or a flash. Any of those work as well. I just prefer the stem. And for the last class setup, this is just going to be my class setup for Shipment specifically. I just thought I'd throw in there fun because there's a 24/7 playlist right now. So I figured that's what most of you guys are playing because it's the only map where there's a bunch of action, even though it's probably the worst map ever made in Call of Duty with those spawns and it's just completely chaotic. But it's still really fun to play for some reason. So we're going to do the 407mm lightweight still. It's just a great attachment. Then we're going to use this laser because it helps you with your hip fire accuracy and aim down sight speed on the map. And your laser's visible to enemies, but you know, whatever, you're probably going to be seen anyways. You're on Shipment, right? And then the Forge Tac CQB comb is just for aim down sight speed because you really need that on Shipment. And I got the stippled grip tape still because obviously that helps you with your ADS speed once again. And then I have the 60 round drums on here right now, but you don't have to use that if you don't want to. You can just keep the normal 32 round mag, but I just like having the extra bullets in the chamber. But if you end up going with the 32 bullet clip of the normal sub ammo, I'd probably take off the Forge Tac CQB and put on sleight of hand for that extra help reloading. And for the rest of the class setup, you already know RPG secondary. Pretty much every single class I make until I get the 357 up to get that shotgun attachment, it's going to be the RPG. And then Shipment, you got to have on EOD because other people are using RPGs. There's frags flying all over the place. And then I have kill chain on because once you get your kill streaks, you can get the rest of your kill streaks using this quickly and easily. and then shrapnel to get 2 lethal equipments you spawn in with. And then what I do with the claymores, this is actually really fun. Alec actually came up with this one. I just place them in the spawn points. So what I like to do is when people are going to spawn in the little containers, I'll have the claymores facing inward, so when they spawn, they see it right in front of their face. They're either going to run into it or they're going to try to shoot it and blow it up, and either way they're going to die. It gets you some really easy kills right off the bat, so wherever you spawn in, just place the claymore, then you can leave and go somewhere else, and you'll get a free kill like every little bit from this, so it's actually really good. And then tactical, I got on flash grenade. I mean, honestly, I don't throw many flash grenades on Shipment, but I don't really use my tactical at all on Shipment. Maybe that's my bad. And if you want to know my favorite class setup out of those 3, it's going to be the first all-around AUG setup. The one where you can rush with it, because that's just more my play style, even though I've had to walk back on that a bit for this game because, well, I think you guys know why. But overall, my opinion on the AUG is that I think it's a really solid mid-tier SMG. I definitely wouldn't call it the best sub in the game, but it's very good and I really enjoyed using it, and I think it's really underrated because I don't see anyone using the AUG unless it's like they're level 1 and they got that starter class set up, if you all remember. And then let me know in the comment section below if you guys like this weapon or if you're just watching this now to see if you want to try it out, which if that's what it is, I really recommend using it. And then also, if you guys would like to see this series continue, let me know which weapon you want to be done next. And if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.